Welcome to my next Mr. Robot Season 2 episode review video. Before I talk about that, though, pretty important, if you haven't watched the entire first season of Mr. Robot, as well as these first 8 episodes of Mr. Robot Season 2, then it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, this is my first time watching the show Mr. Robot. Heard a lot about it over the years and finally decided to check it out. Better late than never. So join me on this journey. Let's discuss the show in the comment section. Please don't spoil anything that happens later in the show, at least in this review video. So with all that said, this will be Mr. Robot Season 2, Episode 8. The title of this episode is a computer file that says Successor. And this will be my first time watch review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start with a flashback, Thanksgiving of 2014 at Ron's coffee shop. Mobley makes small talk with Trenton over coffee and phones as they sit close to each other while using laptops. She challenges him to go to a website to see if Android or iPhone is faster. She uses the opportunity to hack Mobley. Darlene interrupts, and they are both startled to see her as they each thought they were meeting Elliot. Darlene reads them his familiar introductory statement, telling them on top 1% of 1%. And then we go to present time. Darlene returns to the smart house and ends up finding Mobley, Trenton, and Cisco looking at a computer screen. She learns from an FBI schedule that tomorrow we'll have a conference call to discuss an ongoing investigation, Berenstain, related to identifying the members of S Society. And then on July 4th at 2 p.m., they call it in and record the conference. They learn that the FBI has been spying on 30 million Americans and have targeted 16 possible members of F Society. Darlene wears the mask and is listening to the high-profile companies in the surveillance when the VHS tape breaks. Trenton grabs a new one, and they shorten the message, wishing the public a happy Independence Day before uploading the video online. Mobley is freaked out and at the thought that he might be on the list and wants to quit. Cisco stands in his way, warning him of the Dark Army. Tension distracts them, but Trenton watches as Susan Jacobs arrives, catching them. Then at a karaoke bar, Angela and Andre are on a date. She is watching the new F Society video, which bothers him that she is distracted. Angela goes to get another drink. The inconspicuous man and woman can be seen behind them. And at the bar, a friend of Angela's father, Steve, confronts her about missing the barbecue. He shames her for working at E-Corp, saying, unlike her father, she finds it easy to swallow her pride. Angela turns to leave, but shames him for being a 60-year-old plumber, while she is a 27-year-old with a 6-figure salary and moving up in the world's largest conglomerate. Darlene and the gang tied up Susan in the pool room, and then downstairs they are panicking. Trenton is sent to shut her up from yelling. Mobley wants to skip town. Susan Jacobs says she needs to use the bathroom, so Trenton unties her. Susan Jacobs insults her for being Muslim, assuming she's related to ISIS, before charging at her, only to run into the brick wall. Mobley is angry that they fucked up as well as fucked up the city. Trenton calls for Darlene to help. Susan is now unconscious with a bleeding head injury. Cisco wonders if they should let her die, while Trenton and Mobley talk about her to the hospital, or talk about taking her to the hospital, I should say, and Darlene refuses and wants to blackmail Susan Jacobs. While Angela sings a somber rendition of Everybody Want to Rule the World by Tears of Fear, the gang investigates her online accounts. Emails from NYU Cardiology can briefly be seen. Angela is at the bar when an older man makes a conversation about her song. She jokes that she could be his granddaughter's age before inviting him to stay and talk. Xander Jones is with his lawyer as Dom interrogates him. She shows him the bullet casing from the FBI found at the Fun Society arcade and traced it back to his illegal handgun. She promises him immunity for a name. Darlene enters the pool room. She shows a stun gun to Susan, and she realizes her restraints. They each have a cigarette as Darlene reveals that she knows about Susan's affair with the judge. She talks about her dead father and references how Susan has aged well. Darlene first saw her when she was about 4 years old in 1995, when Susan laughed in the back of the courtroom and E-Corp was absolved in the Washington Township scandal. Susan wants to figure out a deal when Darlene tases her, sending her limp body into the pool. Darlene tells the others. Mobley laughs and asks if she didn't see the emails concerning her pacemaker. Darlene tells Trenton and Mobley to go while she and Cisco wipe down the place. Darlene sets an automatic response to Susan's emails and colleagues that she is on vacation. Mobley and Trenton are in the subway. Trenton wants to think Darlene was acting in self-defense. Mobley shakes his head and tells her to skip town. Trenton says that she has family. Mobley leaves on the train. As day comes, Cisco and Darlene look at Susan's floating lifeless body. He wants to leave her, but Darlene is worried about the militants on the DC mission who may return to a burned spot. They bring Susan in a large bag, nervous on the subway as cops pass by. They burn her body at the animal kill shelter, paying the shelter tech a double in E-coin using Susan's account. And then back on the subway, Cisco invites Darlene back to his place. Darlene is amazed at what she did, fulfilling a long-standing grudge, and even more so she didn't feel bad about it. And then back on the previous night, Mobley sends a pizza delivery man to his apartment to make sure it's safe. Inside, he starts panicking when the FBI knocks at his door. Meanwhile, Trenton asks her dad about moving in, to which he says it would be too expensive even if the bank wasn't fighting them on the deed. Her brother is watching TV. Trenton goes to investigate a noise outside before dinner and sees a car pulling around the corner. Dom enters after a long wait to interrogate Mobley. She mentions Leslie Romero's death and how she came across the End of the World party flyer. She links DJ Mobley to an old Angel Fire fan site that he created. She assures him that she doesn't want Tyrell Wellick's DJ, but the man himself, and asks for names, and Mobley wants a lawyer. Later, Ernesto Santiago chastises her for keeping Mobley for 12 hours with no evidence while the Berenstain leak is blowing up and taking jobs. He orders her to let him go. At 12:20 a.m., Mobley texts Trenton to meet him where they first met at noon before wiping his phone and ditching it. Trenton tells her parents she'll be back and leaves. And then at Ron's coffee shop, Trenton texts Mobley that he is late when the door opens. Dom talks to Andre in the FBI office, revealing him to be an undercover agent. He failed to get anything on F Society out of Angela. He is hurt that she left him for an old dude. I put his for an old dude, and claims he's done. Darlene wakes up in Cisco's bed at 1 p.m. on July 6th. Cisco is in the shower. Darlene looks at his computer and finds communication with the Dark Army. He sent them a picture of her sleeping and said he has her. They congratulate him on the Femicell having a backdoor, and stage 2 is set to begin. When Cisco emerges, Darlene is by the door. He sees his computer smashed to the bits when Darlene hits him and then he falls to the ground after Darlene hits him in the head with a baseball bat, and that's what ends this episode of Mr. Robot. So pretty good episode. I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. And my characters of the episode are going to be Darlene and Mobley. I think they both did really well. Darlene's probably the main character of the episode, but I like Mobley. He entertains me. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Mr. Robot and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share this video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are regarding this episode of Mr. Robot. What would you rate it, and who would you choose as your character of the episode? And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100K subs. Yes, I know I set my goals high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.